All right, so we're diving deep today, and I mean really deep into
Yeah.
this feeling,
Right.
the feeling of being completely alone, even when you're surrounded by people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've got this clip, right, from Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, his YouTube video.
Hmm.
I do this when the odds are against me. Powerful
He
stuff.
really
And
is.
we're going to kind of unpack it all, explore this whole idea.
Absolutely.
So, to kick things off, for anyone who might not be familiar,
Sure.
can you give us a little background on Archbishop Duncan Williams, who
Yeah.
he is, what he represents?
Oh, absolutely. So Archbishop Duncan Williams, he's a giant, in the charismatic movement in Ghana,
Right.
a powerful preacher, leader of Action Chapel International. He's hugely influential.
Okay. Okay, so really established, really known for what he does.
Definitely. And in this video, you can just feel it. He's speaking from this place of deep personal experience.
Yeah, and that comes through for sure.
And what he's saying, it just hits home for so many people.
It does. And one of the things he talks about, it's that feeling, right? That gut-wrenching feeling of betrayal almost. When the people closest to you, the people you should be able to count on, they don't get it. They don't understand what you're going through.
Exactly.
And he even connects it to the story of Job in the Bible.
Yeah, he does.
What do you make of that comparison?
I think it's so powerful, because Job's story, it's just devastating. Loss of family, wealth, health, everything.
The whole 9 yards?
The whole 9 yards. And then his friends, even they turn on him.
Wow.
Basically blame him for his own misfortune, right? So really imagine that crushing weight of being that isolated, having the people you trust, the people you depend on.
Yeah.
Turn away from you.
And Duncan Williams, he really echoes that. He says there are times when you feel that way, that feeling of being utterly alone, even when you're not physically alone. And he brings up Job's wife too.
Oh, right.
Telling him to curse God and die. I mean, can you imagine?
That's rock bottom, isn't it?
It is. It's like complete abandonment.
Absolutely. And I think what makes this so powerful, so universal, is that this feeling, it goes way beyond religion. It doesn't matter if you're a person of faith or not.
Right.
We've all had those moments, those situations where even our loved ones, even the people who care about us the most, they can't quite grasp it,
They can't get there.
They can't get there, and that disconnect, that can be incredibly isolating.
It's like speaking different languages almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And yet, even with that feeling of isolation so strong, Duncan Williams ends with and God alone.
Yeah.
It seems like he's finding strength in his faith, even in the midst of all that struggle.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, and this is, I think, where it gets really fascinating. Because for some people, right, faith, that's the refuge. It's that source of solace when everything else is falling apart.
Right.
And this is a big question, I think.
Yeah.
What about those who don't find that comfort in faith? Where do they turn?
Yeah.
When they're facing that same sense of isolation? What are the resources that they tap into?
That's such a good point. And I want to kind of flip that back to you,
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where you felt totally alone?
Yeah.
Even when you were surrounded by people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What helped you through that? Was it your own inner strength, or did you have a small group of people who really got it?
I think for me, it was a combination. There were definitely people who understood, who I could really talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also this need to dig deep,
Yeah.
find that strength within myself to keep going. And honestly, sometimes just acknowledging that feeling of isolation, just admitting it.
Yeah.
That can be a huge step towards finding connection again and building that resilience.
I think you're right. Just naming it can be so powerful.
It really can.
And what really strikes me, listening to Duncan Williams, is the honesty, the vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
He's so open about facing these dark moments.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that even the people we see as strong as pillars of faith,
Yeah.
they go through these really human struggles too.
They do. I
think that's something we can all relate to, something to think about.
Absolutely. Definitely something to ponder.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive, but I want to thank you for joining me, for sharing your insights.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in. Keep those conversations going. Keep exploring these ideas. And until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep.
Take care.
You too.